The Nana was a head stew back in the late 90s.
So what is
What
it
a
called? The
job for
primary
you.
guest?
Yeah.
Nana was a purser.
Nana was a purser.
Oh, she ran that show.
Oh, yeah.
She ran a tight
Headset.
ship.
Britney Spears toxic.
Would only work first class, would never go back to economy.
Yes.
No, she would just say
Paltrow.
chicken or beef, chicken or beef.
All right, everyone, welcome to Out and About. It is Tuesday, January 28th. It is finally getting a little bit warmer outside, and things are heating up in our lives. We're hanging out. It was a hell of a weekend. We had Poppy's birthday. We have now 2 Super Bowl contenders. Joey's sweet Josh Allen is not in the Super Bowl. He lost. I know you did a live show last night, so you missed it. It was a disaster of an end of a game. Vinny probably saw it. And we also have our. Go ahead.
Did he show his hole?
No, he hasn't shown his hole yet, dear. He showed his whole ass at the end. And we also have our sweet Brian Kelly, who's my favorite guest of all time, who's going to be on the show later today talking about credit cards, traveling, and his new book, How to Win at Travel, which is the most useful information to anyone that anyone can have in terms of how to spend money on credit cards, how to save on points, how to use points. I could talk to that guy for literally, like, if we had to cut him off at 40 minutes, I could talk to him forever. He's a genius.
You were trying to raise your FICO score just by having a conversation with him.
Right. Well, when you're in the low 200s, there's a lot of room for. I got an uptown credit score. Okay. Tell me about your show. You and Snooks were at some theater in New Jersey yesterday.
Wilmot Theater. It was good. It was it was a packed house. It was our first show of the new year. We had a certified plastic surgeon on. Dr. Taylor came on because I wanted to debunk some myths about celebrity flag. I just wanted to find out what happened to Lindsay Lohan.
Is that who that guy was? He had the hair. I was like, who was that guy? He was sitting in the middle of the chair.
Yeah, that's Dr. Taylor. And he said she didn't have a facelift. He said that it was a lot of laser resurfacing. Now, Vinny had laser resurfacing on his areolas many years ago.
Yes. Well, as every Italian boy does, once they reach maturity, they go get the areolas done. Are you comfortable having surgery done with a guy with a ponytail?
I did it before. That's one who had me on the top. He had like a whole hog.
I know. Well, I put up a clip and it was like, we need to do. I was a poll. It was like, should we do a podcast from the operating table? And the poll was like 98% yes. So when you get your hair done, I'm gonna see if I can sneak in, sit there with a microphone, and we'll talk you through the process.
I do want to show. I found them. I had him also send me some alarming photos of the forensics. Autopsy photos of me before my transition.
Oh,
and they were alarming. I'm going to see if I can pull them up here. Just a second. Well, I can't, but you'll see then. We're going to do the before and afters. Sorry.
Okay.
But I'm having my hair transplant with him on the 18th. So we're prepping for that. So I wanted to kind of find out what's expected of me and like what's going to happen. And basically he says I don't have to shave my head like Gypsy Rose. He may be able to do it the old
fashioned way.
The old fashioned way. Right through the urethra.
You wanted to shave your head because I know that Nana wanted to have a wig on. Your edges always show. So you wanted to have a little bit of a clean hairline. We had Poppy's party on Friday night. Myself, Leah, our sweet sissy Erin. We took a lovely car out there. It was 7 hours from the city, which is not quite what I was expecting.
5 minutes. Was it an hour?
Maybe might have been an hour plus, but it was. When I tell you, Vinny, I didn't. Joey talks so much. No offense, Joey. You talk so much about like the decorating and all this shit. Like at times, I'm like, okay, like I've heard it once, I've heard it all, whatever. I zone out. Vinny, I walked in to this place in New Jersey. It was a full blown wedding. They opened the doors. There's a lady. She goes, champagne. I was like, what is up with it? They hand me champagne. I walk upstairs. The fucking Atlantic Ocean around New Jersey must have been sucked dry of every fish because there was more seafood than my sister's wedding was 300 people. There was more seafood at this for 70 people. There was a second repeat. There was a VIP section. It was hilarious and awesome in every way.
Well, I'm never gonna have my own wedding, so I figured I might as well throw this one. And Nana's only got a couple years left in the tank, so God willing. So I was
Was
like,
Poppy
what?
surprised?
He knew that something was going on, but he didn't know the caliber of it or the price tag. And he how people came from far and wide, like all his cousins came from all over the place. It was all like, everyone from everywhere came. Excuse me. I've been eating Xanax like they're Tic Tacs for the past 3 days. Excuse me.
Oh.
And he didn't know the caliber. He didn't know there's going to be like, that level of food. Like and I started adding, like, once you get there in the heat of the moment, you start adding things on. So like, the last one, I was like, I'm going to go, I'm adding the seafood paella. I don't care.
Vinny, the best part.
I'm adding the lamb chops. I'm adding the pasta hors d'oeuvres.
My favorite part of the whole thing was, first of all, when I saw Joey, he came around the corner.
The outfit was so good, though.
It was golden shirt, white tux jacket, super high cummerbund. But the best part of the whole thing for me was when Poppy was coming in, the panic on Joey's face to get everyone in their spots, get the music right. The DJ wouldn't turn down the music, like as Poppy's walking up. So Joey's at the front of the deck, like the front. We're all like shaped like a U, and he's gonna walk through like these double doors. They open it. It was beautiful. Joey's going to the guy. He's going.
I wanted, there was a special song. I wanted a certain song to be playing as soon as he walked in. So it was like a cue, but I didn't know how quick on his feet we're going to meet DJ, the DJ, in a bit. But he is, I had a song on to play La Freak when he walked in, like, so like, freak out, La Freak. So, cause if the party was disco 70s theme. So there's disco balls literally everywhere. I had every disco ball in the Northeast was in that room.
I can't believe Poppy can still do coke like that. I mean, he was really just phased out. I mean, he came up.
What's that guy's name? Scarface? Oh, no, the old video where he goes, the old Italian movie. Who's that guy?
Scarface. Yeah.
Is that when he came out with the head all over his face?
Yeah.
Well, Poppy came out of the bathroom. I thought it was a geisha, but it was just Poppy. his entire face was white. And we do know Poppy loves an Oriental. Now, why didn't you have any Oriental decorations there? I was expecting
in the ladies' room.
Okay, well,
yeah,
that was fun. And the best part of it is my ass was home by fucking midnight. The best.
Yeah. But yeah, Wiggles is with me here. We're still in the hotel. He's under the blanket.
Oh, I thought you were your father's house.
No, I'm at the Albion Hotels, the Grand Summit Hotel that was repurposed.
Oh.
The cake was insane. The special. Oh. We have a special gift from Butter and. Hold on, let me get the name right. Vinny, you're on the card too. You forgot these at the house, Trish. Okay, we have a special treat from Butter and Blitz Cookies that made our own very own. They made the cookies for Poppy's party, which I'll push pictures up. But they also, Vinny.
Nice.
What is that? Is that an Ookie cookie?
Trish, this is what we're gonna Trish, Nana, out and about with the logo.
Oh, cute.
Nice.
Now she will.
Okay.
But literally, if you need any personalized cookies, they are fucking delicious. I don't even like sweets, and they're just the most beautiful, thoughtful things, and it's the perfect gift for anyone. I did it for Poppy's party. I did his cologne bottle. I did his picture. I did disco balls. I did olives. I did martini glasses, ma'am.
Now you guys should buckle in because we have about 3 months worth of backed ads, which will be coming from Joey's party. This was on this. This was on this. This is on the couch provided by. So if you see like an organic, like ruggable conversation, it's not organic. It's required. Let me tell you.
Are you party pooped out?
Oh,
Wiggles was on stage last night. He's
I was
extra.
He's gonna get stepped on. At the
Well,
party,
all over
he's
the party,
running around.
Pissing and shitting everywhere.
That was the worst for him. I was just afraid he was going to get beat up. So you didn't get to watch any of these football games last night?
No, I did not.
Our sweet Josh Allen.
I can't do anything at this point. I'm
The
dead inside.
First of all, Dave Portnoy lost his $1 million bet. So we need to
$1
mourn.
million.
We need to mourn that. It's always good for the health of the company when Dad hits a big bet. So that stinks. But the end of the game, I mean, we don't have to talk about it too much because you didn't see it. The Bills got robbed, and they had a chance twice to win the
Against the
game,
Eagles?
tie the game. No, against the Chiefs, who I
Washington.
fucking hate. I hate. The Chiefs are the Patriots without
Taylor
the aura
Swift's
and
team?
without the charisma. What?
Taylor Swift's team?
Yes, Taylor Swift's team.
So she's going back to Super Bowl.
Yep, it's going to be them versus the Eagles. So it's good because we have, Roan, Fran, Max, Gilly. All these guys are going to be, obviously rooting for the Eagles. They're all huge Eagles fans. Who else is an Eagles fan at work? Is that it? We got a lot of closeted Eagles fans. But I was so excited because there's no better fan base in terms of like a matchup, excluding New England teams, like no more passionate fan base than Bills and Eagles. Like,
Yeah.
Bills fans deserve to be there way more than fucking Chiefs fans. And I just saw a TikTok that Patrick Mahomes has some brother that he never talks to.
The gay one?
No, not that one. He has like some random like brother that he never talks to. I don't know. Those Mahomes are fucking trashy, and I hate them. And I wish them nothing but the worst.
Yeah, I don't really going for the birds, but yeah, we've seen enough of that. The Taylor Swifts and the other red team. Now I have to get a shirt. This is a green team.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm over it. Like, why am I reading an article on Travis Kelce in Vogue? Enough. Like, congratulations to your people who do PR. They're obviously very good at their job, but take your foot off the fucking gas. I do not need this much like Kelce family in my life. It's insane how hard of a push they're making to be famous outside of football.
Is he the quarterback?
No, he's not a quarterback.
So then why is he the most he gets all the popularity? Isn't the quarterback supposed to be the most famous?
Because he must have the same as like fucking, I don't know, whoever the most famous person in the world is. Is it not crazy, Vinny? The amount that the Kelces are pushed on people?
I mean, he's married to or dating Taylor Swift. Jason Kelsey's trying to be popular too. That's the other thing for the Kelce's now. It's the Eagles. That's Jason Kelsey's old team. So it's like all Kelsey'd out. I think Kylie Kelsey's a big Eagles fan because of that. So,
but like, why are you trying this hard to like? You've done it. You're one of the most popular guys in the NFL. Stop also trying to be a popular guy in broadcasting. Like, let your career fizzle out. Let it finish before I see you in like a satin button-down shirt on the cover of Vogue on my Instagram.
Why does Tom Brady not have that same feedback?
Because Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowls, is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Travis Kelce has a lot of Super Bowls.
Vinny, he's not even in the fucking same universe as Tom Brady, and he doesn't look like Tom Brady.
Is Mahomes going to be if they win this one?
No. What are his 4th? If they win,
that would be his 4th.
Yeah, they're not gonna. No,
I don't think he's just not likable.
Exactly.
Marketing to the other one's being pushed on because of that singer, but then the other one is just problematic. That girlfriend wasn't his girlfriend problematic, and then that gay brother of his, he just has like a icky aura about him.
Yeah, they're trash. His dad's always
sounds like Kermit the Frog. Yeah,
dad's always getting DUIs. His dad's always bombed. His brother's on camera shoving his tongue down someone's throat. There's no class with those Mahomes. Now, if they want to come on the show,
we'd gladly accept them.
We'd gladly accept them. I'm going to see by the time this comes out, I will have found out the fate of my heart. Not in a metaphorical sense, in a medical sense.
Have you ever had an EKG?
I had one, and they looked at my EKG and they were like, "Whoa, okay, we gotta get you in to a cardiologist." Now
they are replacing it with a pig heart, correct?
Yes.
From the late. I'm sorry.
Fuck that. Let's let it. We're just gonna start letting it rip on that one about it.
No, I can't do that.
Just bleep it just enough so they know who it is that we're talking about. Yeah. So hopefully they're gonna replace. I don't know what it is.
What is a murmur?
They don't know. It's called LVH, is what they think I have. Left ventricular hypertrophy, and it's where the left side of your heart thickens for like a number of reasons.
And
allegedly.
The left side of Vinny's crotch is thickening as well.
Got to go see a doctor about that.
You have bottoms on right now, or is just your sweatshirt?
New pants.
Oh. Could you imagine if Vinny stood up and he was just completely
Yep.
naked?
With it dripping, oozing.
Oh,
Ew.
a leak. He has a leaking cum, but it's like the post cum leak, where it's just kind of like a long string coming down.
Ew. You made it so much weirder.
You know what, Vinny?
Oh.
Don't silence my voice. With this administration, I need to be able to say whatever the hell I want to say.
Did you pick your gender yet? We have to get I have to get our forms in by Tuesday.
I haven't decided yet.
I know. I've been undecided on mine as well.
I'm thinking. Now, hear me out. Now, I'm thinking I'm going to stick with who I am, because that's what God intended. But I know that you have had some issues with God before. So if you do feel like changing.
Well, I'm also thinking about getting a transgender surgery at the border from Dr. Tutela.
Ooh.
It.
So if I come in and we do this thing and that will be the funniest thing. We do a podcast as you're getting hair transplants. Can they also shoot me up with a little Botox?
Well, no, they can shoot up with one of my hair follicles.
Should I get one of your hairs implanted?
One implanted. Yeah.
Right in the middle of.
I'll donate one of my grafts, my harvested grafts to your.
Vinny, what would you do if we came in and this was just a massive scheme for Joey for Joey to get some huge surgery? He's like, oh, I'm gonna get my tits put back in. I'm gonna get my buccal fat done, facial feminization.
My testicles rotated. My testicles rotated. Do you think? Oh my God! Do you guys think
this changed my life? A Yeti. It's the first one I ever had. Go on.
Did you get it from the store I told you to go to?
No, I got it online.
Do you think you can get testicle replacements of like a younger, more like just testosterone fueled
bull? And then would that work? Look at me. No. I just thought of something. And what would the goal be?
That would be like you get all the testosterone and masculinity from the fresh new balls, and you have sperm for days, and like you can shoot ropes across the room, like.
Ask Dr. Tutela.
Ask Dr. Tutela if you get a nut transplant while you're there.
Would you give me one of your testicles?
No way. I need them.
Just so I can deepen my voice. No. You can have one of mine. It'll soften the skin.
Perfect.
How much would it take for you to realistically give up one of your testicles?
For me, for the procedure?
No, you're paying to have that done. Vinny, how much would it take for you?
Can I just ingest the testicle instead of having it actually surgically implanted?
I think if I would give up a ball if they could replace it with a fake ball.
Yeah, need a fake.
I'd probably untaxed $1 million.
I don't want your old shriveled raisins.
My balls are huge.
No, I want a young, fresh, like D1 athlete, punching walls, like guy that punches a wall, like dry.
You want a guy who gets mad and goes.
I want a toxic
masculinity.
Bull. That's what he bolts. But so if you want if anyone would like to donate, I will be the guinea pig. I bet you if there's any, there's probably some neuroscientists in the chat. I bet you that it would benefit some if it was done correctly.
You want like a Meek Phil ball.
Meek Phil's parents came to my show last night.
Did they?
And Kim, the head of HR, came to my show.
Oh, I love Kim. Kim is like my favorite. I fucked Kim and Rachel. The HR and like the benefits lady are my two favorite people at the whole company.
She said, "I've never been more famous in my life ever since the Grace O'Malley scandal, where they were denying that my job exists." She's like, I've never felt more powerful in my life. I said, yes, you do hold the key. It's like we do have HR, and her name's Kim, and she's a supporter of all of my endeavors.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a tough job. Now, I don't know if she's necessarily been empowered. HR at Barstool is not like, you can say this, you can't say this. It's more like, hey, don't hit this person.
If you launch a can at 455 degrees Fahrenheit at someone's skull,
yeah,
what is it called? Miles per hour
degrees.
Yeah, so you're launching lava at someone's face. How long was your show last night?
90 minutes to the dot.
To the dot.
No,
Well,
there's two minutes over because Nicole wants to do more questions. That I'm planning a show for Out and About for St. Patrick's Day.
nice, Joe. We are we're working on a little event up to my favorite place on earth in Boston, a little out and about.
It's not a
event for
show.
St.
It's
Patrick's
a
Day.
lot. It's a sensory experience. It's a sensory room.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yes.
Where you'll all be blindfolded. You have to see which testicles are
Yes.
Vinny's,
Yes.
my new implanted bull testicles, or whatever Nana's California raisins, and you'll just go around.
We're gonna play Who's in My Mouth. We're gonna play What's
Sing.
in My Mouth.
Touch. It's gonna be a titillation for all the senses.
Should we play a game of What's in My Mouth like we did on YouTube when you put a fucking tarantula in my mouth?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're working on a
what's
little
gonna be in my mouth?
something.
Well, you know what's gonna be in my mouth.
A gun.
45.
45.
This might be my last entry, ladies. I'm sorry.
This is it. Nana's on the come down.
I don't know. I'm not saying I might have to be checked in for treatment or for go on hiatus.
Oh my god, hiatus. That was my favorite Joey line ever. You go, I gotta go on hiatus. I go, I'm sorry, I don't think we do that. I don't think you go on. You're like, I just can't. I go, not how that works.
Brianna invented it. She went on hiatus 30 times last year.
She also made $30 million last year. She's a little bit of a double standard, and rightfully so. But Brian Kelly came on our show, and
the points guy.
I had so many. I'm so intimidated and afraid to use credit card points, and I feel like there's so much I don't know. So in this interview, I asked him every single thing that I've ever wanted to know about how to use credit card points, when to transfer them, how to do your transfer partners. We talked about his relationship with Martha Stewart. We talked about him building his company. We talked about bottoming. We talked about topping. We talked about sniffies. We talked about everything that you would hope we would talk about with Brian Kelly.
Second time new mom.
What else did we talk about? How else can we intro this guy? He is the moment. He's a legend.
If you anything you need to travel, you wrote this fabulous new book, teaches you everything from etiquette in first class to traveling with your children, traveling with your pets, how to maximize your points, how to travel like a rock star with you. It's so much easier than you would ever think. Everyone says it's unattainable. He teaches you everything you need to know about lounges, points, where you should be traveling to.
The Mile High Club.
It's a guide for anything you need to know in travel, and he's the expert because he wrote the book on it.
Literally wrote the book on it. Oh, and one more thing before we get to our interview. Should we have our good friend Jake Cohen on to recap Fist Fest that he went to in Germany?
I'd be honored.
Well, keep an eye out for that. Okay, here's our interview with Brian Kelly. We will talk to you guys on Friday. We love getting out to live events, whether it's a concert, a football game, or a comedy show, and we always use Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. You know how much we love Game Time, and now with their brand new Game Time Picks feature, they're making it even easier to get to a game.
Game Time Picks filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals and great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Now, Trish, you were looking for some tickets earlier. Which ones were those?
So I was looking for Grizzlies at Knicks tonight. I went on Game Time, and I saw tickets for $108. $108 at MSG is simply that just doesn't happen, and it was all thanks to Game Time Picks. And all I had to do was pull up my chosen event, turn on the Game Time Picks setting at the top of the screen, and browse for the best local Game Time Picks near me. You do it near you, obviously, and you go to your Game Time app homepage. So what are you waiting for? I'm going to buy those Knicks tickets now with Game Time Picks.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code OUTANDABOUT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code OUTANDABOUT for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it?
Game time.
Oh my God, we're not recording right.
All right. Anyway, we are here with the king of points, the points guy, Mr. Brian Kelly. Thank you for coming back. I'm
Thanks
surprised
for
you came back
having me.
after our last
I'm surprised
ordeal.
my publicist allowed.
I know.
Funny how
Please,
she's not here today. I actually snuck this interview.
we love having you, and we're going to talk about your book
The
after we
cerulean
catch up.
covered book.
How to Win
Cerulean.
at Travel by Brian Kelly. follow you religiously on Instagram, and I have the BILT credit card, which has literally changed my life, which we're going to
Love
talk
it.
about. You're getting paid essentially to pay your rent. It's the greatest thing. Took care of my transaction fees. We're going to talk about all that.
Martha talked about that.
Martha Stewart talked about that.
She's
but
the points
first, how the hell have you been?
I've been wonderful. Life is good. I just had my second baby boy. So I'm a daddy of 2. So it's a little surreal. He was born like a month ago. So I'm going from having a baby to now launching a book, going on a book tour.
Oh my God.
Which I'm really, really excited about. Like I started the Points Guy 15 years ago. I got a book deal in 2017, but like was too busy. And unlike most
Same.
people who everyone's like, just get a ghostwriter. I'm like, I can't get a ghostwriter. Like this needs to be good. This needs everything I do. I try to do it right. So I'd rather wait till the time is right. So
And you have the knowledge. You can't just, then what, you have to dictate your knowledge
I
to
actually,
someone who's
I had
gonna write.
hired ghostwriters to help me even with the book proposal, and they're helpful, but like it's got to be me. There's no way. I will never put my name on something that's not legit, and I think my fans expect that. So I waited until last year was a good year. I like spent the first half of the year writing this book. It was all in my head, so it was a matter of like, frankly, my hardest issue was getting. It's 300 pages, and that was tough to do because I didn't just tackle points. I wanted a book that's for everyone. You know, people who get jet lag, how to conquer fear of flying, which is actually one of the top questions I get asked.
Is it really? That's
I
surprising.
wanted this to be like the primer book for anyone who wants to travel, people in the airport who are like, just people freeze up. This is the book that teaches you the ins and outs and will get you at least to a proficient level to become a really good traveler.
I love it. Well, you're the expert, and I think it takes more work to articulate that to a writer. So so it'd be even more work at the end of the day for you to make sure you got your point across.
And well, the biggest thing was just keeping it high level because I love to go down a rabbit hole. Love. I love the detail, but I couldn't do that in this book. And that's not the point of this book. Luckily, there's a little website called The Points Guy, where once I teach you the basics, like I'm leading the horse to water,
Right.
and then teaching you, which watering hole is good to go get the right information.
And also in the restrooms, which glory hole and which airport is the best.
That was actually chapter 1. Actually, that's how we
Have you ever tapped your foot at a stall
Oh, please.
I mean, growing up, probably.
at the mall near the
mall.
Cinnabon?
Well, no.
Near the intoxicating smells of it. Yeah.
She wafts through
No,
the
but I
stall.
did
Oh,
famous.
that garlic smell really gets you going.
I did famously go down on someone in the Dillard's dressing room.
Dillard's.
And we have him here with us today.
Yeah. But yeah, traveling is first of all, foremost, every time I just get on a plane and I see your name on it, I kiss my hand and I touch it and I say, "That's my friend." And I tell the stewardess, so they already know. It only announces that I'm a homosexual when I get on,
Right.
but
Because
also,
you're a Delta gay is what
I'm a
he's
Delta gay.
low-key
People couldn't
flexing
tell.
because the Points Guy logo's on every single Delta plane.
Yeah, well, I'm Delta loyal. But yeah, so I always say that this is my friend.
I used you'd be very proud of me. I had a bunch of points from my BILT card, and the first time ever, I transferred them to miles.
Nice.
And I was
Which
able-
partner?
United.
Good.
And I was able to
partner.
go get a free flight out to Jackson Hole to do some skiing.
And those are some expensive flights
I
out west.
know. And they had a
it's more
direct
exp-
flight
yeah.
from Newark. I was like, I got to do this.
You've learned all the tricks because time is money. You fly nonstop. You don't want to waste a day of your trip getting
Yep.
stuck in Denver or whatever if there's a snowstorm. So
I know this
well
is
done.
not your responsibility as a guest, but do they have direct flights from New York to Talladega?
We're going to Talladega.
But I only take direct flights.
Is that in
Yeah.
Florida? No,
I don't know where
Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah, it's like a NASCAR thing. I think we're going to have to drive. We'll probably go into Birmingham and then drive.
Oh, they're going to say road trip from New York.
Oh,
wanna
That would
ride
be
my-
good content.
I
And
want
who-
to.
Actually, who would drive, Pat?
her.
Oh, please. Joe would be in the back seat. It'd be
Yeah.
like an Uber situation.
In a fur coat.
Literally in
Yeah.
a fur coat.
Recovering from my hair transplant.
Oh, God. Yeah, he's getting his hair done.
Oh, when are you getting it done?
April 18th. I'm sorry, February 18th.
Are you going to Turkey?
No, I'm going to New Jersey.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
I
It's
get
much
all the
closer.
time the Turkish people like message me, come
Oh yeah.
to Turkey.
Oh, they invited
Well,
me like 10 times.
I have so many friends who have done it. They're like, it is a factory. You go from one floor to the next floor.
Really?
I had a friend recently one who was like, no, I'd like my hairline like this. They're like, no, you get this.
And the straight
like,
one,
It's
yeah.
Got that
just
Teresa.
Literally.
down the thing.
the GJ special.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God. That's great.
But second time dad. I'm assuming you have help.
I do. Absolutely. There's no, especially the single moms out there that do this.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Growing up, everyone would always say, oh, stay-at-home mom is like a full-time job. Girl, that's not a full-time job. It's a 24/7 job.
Yep.
And I love my babies and my kids, but
It-
I think there's like women have genes, obviously, to like the mothering genes, especially with the little babies. Like,
Right.
so I love hanging out with them, but I'm also ADD and I have a lot going on in my life. So like, I need help. Like, if I would not be a good father if I had to take care of them all day long.
You have to travel for work so much.
Yeah.
Well, you had them carrying your bags up on the way here.
Yeah. I'm like so excited for my kids to start carrying their own stuff. Even my son now, Dean, is walking and running through the airport. I'm like, thank God, because going onto the plane with your stroller, your bags, your everything,
He's 2, right?
He's 2. Yeah, he's a little over 2, but he's like, he's wearing 3 to 4 year clothing.
He's so cute. He's a little chunk. I see him on Instagram.
He's so funny.
Vinny's a 3T as well.
He's the best.
He's very charismatic. He is my new son Cooper. He is like my physical clone. I look at him and I'm like, oh my God. And I look at baby
Are they
pictures.
related?
Yeah, they're biological brothers. So same egg
how
donor.
Lovely.
Oh, wow.
So when I did the egg donor process, I basically did. I got an egg donor I got all of her eggs So I did a full retrieval, all of her eggs in 1 month, and then
A different woman carried?
and then a different woman carried both of them.
Claudia Oshry's carrying.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I didn't
How
want to
long
announce
was
it
that?
here, but
How difficult was that process? Was it like long, like arduous process?
Well, with Dean, my first son, it took 2 years from start to finish, which is actually pretty good, all things considered.
and it's cheap, right?
Oh my God.
Literally, I can never.
Well, you know
afford to have
what's
my own
really
children.
crazy? I could knock up a girl on the street in my insurance, full coverage, no
Yes.
questions asked. But because I wanted to have a child and because I'm gay, I had to pay, even just for the delivery of my first son. It was in California. 3 weeks before delivery, they're like, oh, by the way, it's not covered. It's $50,000 cash wire now or else. And what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know, like
Wow.
luckily I have the means, but it is not for the faint of heart. Just, you know,
No,
and
terrifying.
even
No,
now,
here, I'll have 3 kids. You take that watch off.
I mean, even now, like I'm getting donor breast milk for my son because I don't know.
From
I
Live Event Larry.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny enough. There's a lot of women on social media that will give you their breast milk, but it's dicey because whatever that person has in their system, they give it to your child. So you really got
That's
to.
scary.
So I'm
Yeah.
going through a donor bank, which is great. They screen, scan, drug test, but I did the math and it's $30 a bottle. And he goes through. I mean, it's extortion, and I get that they're trying to, but I'm like, I have a prescription from my doctor because I'm having a hard time lactating. You know, like,
Yeah.
and it's crazy how there's a lot of money being made in this industry because clearly people want to have kids, and not just gay people. People have IVF issues,
Right.
and a lot of people are making a lot.
The
of
man
money.
mafia's wheels are churning. Like, I can just
So-
stay knocked up.
So
Well,
they're
yeah.
it's the breast milk is just from a woman who just does that.
Yeah, and then they donate to the breast milk, and the breast milk flips it around for like it's every bottle he has. I'm like, this is like 2 espresso martinis in New York, like the price.
That's crazy.
I'm like, don't you waste this? He's like crying. He doesn't want to drink anymore. You're gonna drink it.
You drink it?
Yeah.
Save it.
How long do they have to be breastfed for?
You know, you don't have to breastfeed at all. Formula's
But it's good
perfectly
for the-
fine.
and you
I
did it for
think
the brother, so
I
you
did
want-
it for Dean for 3 months, and then when we started traveling, the logistics of all that got wacky.
Yeah,
Because you go everywhere.
Yeah,
with him.
Dean. And so I didn't get a chance to take paternity this time really because I've been working on my book. So I'm taking the boys because I like to wait till they're 2 months is when they get their first vaccinations, like the baseline really horrible
Oh,
stuff.
honey, I've been through it. I had to wait months to have my baby on the ground.
So I like to wait till the 3-month mark. Dean was 3 months when we went to Belize the first time, and then from there it's game on. So I think I'm actually going to take my paternity the month of April, go to Thailand, like from south to north with the little boys. And
Finally,
my
transition.
nannies love to travel. They're like, finally do the transition. Yeah. Instead of getting a vasectomy like a straight person, I'm going to transition so I can have no more kids.
Yeah.
It's a racial transition. It comes back. It's high. I bet your nannies love to travel the way you travel. How are the kids? Because you talk about it in the book. That's a whole.
I have a huge
section on how
chapter.
to travel
Yeah.
with
So
kids.
anyone who's traveling with kids, I mean, I thought I was an expert, and then traveling with kids, it's crazy. The rules, you can have an infant in your lap domestically, but internationally, most airlines won't even let you bring a car seat. So like, there's so many mixed messages for parents. Like, your baby's going to die if it's on your lap, which come on, people. It's like, yes, it is technically more safe in a car seat, but I walk through all the pros and cons. But also when you have a small baby, having them in a car seat for too long can kill them. So like as a new parent, you're like inundated with information. Your number one goal is like, just keep the baby alive. And then you have so many, and there's militant mommy groups that are like, you need to pull over every 30 minutes in a car to take your child out and let it breathe. Like no one's doing
Relax,
it. So it's like, I think my book is like, I interview tons of doctors, board certified physicians. I take a very practical approach though. But yeah, the family travel chapter, if anyone's considering having a baby, like this will teach you everything you need to know. The tricks, the hacks, how to like, even when you're using points, some airlines will charge you 10% of the full cost of the ticket to bring your baby and sit on your lap.
Really?
I once got charged $2,500 to have Dean sit on my lap flying to Japan because the price, I use miles, but the price of that ticket, the full fare crazy price was $25,000. So they charged me $2,500.
What is your stance on, and this is a very taboo subject, children in first class?
Yeah. Well, I covered it in the book. Yeah.
What is it? Can you speak on that?
There's an etiquette chapter in the book. And
I'm glad you did that.
So my take on this, and I interviewed Sir Richard Branson, who I would think is an authority. And I asked, and he firmly believes babies belong wherever you choose to buy a seat for them. I mean, we were all kids once, and I will die on this hill. I have flown a lot in my life. I've been disturbed way more by drunk people than I have young children. Right. Yes, babies will cry. It's a natural part. Bring headphones, bring earplugs in your headphones. It's, to parents, try to take, I give tips to parents to keep your kids active. I think a lot of parents are stressed while traveling. So the point of the book is to give you a mindset of, here's how to succeed, and hopefully your child. But no matter what, Dean is like a jet setter, been to 16 countries, and he'll still have moments. He threw a car across the aisle, like on a plane recently, just because that's like what 2-year-olds do. They start throwing things. Yeah. Not out of like spite, but just like testing boundaries. Yeah. Oh, Dean just started, like he bit me the other day, like playing pretend lizard, but.
You bite them back?
Yeah.
You ever see parents do that? They're like, oh, I'll bite you back.
Yeah, that's a little eye for an eye. I'm not quite sure. I'm like a firm parent. I'm not like a new age. My son will decide what's best for him because he knows. I'm like, no, like the point of a child is they don't know what's best for them. Right. Like,
all right, Joey, we need to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is
me.
Nope, close. It's erectile dysfunction. Okay.
Yes.
1 in 4 men 18 years or older experience ED, which means that you or someone close to you might be experiencing it. Now, I know a couple people who have experiencing it, and that's why I told them about this new ED treatment gel, Eroxon.
Ooh, Eroxon is the first ED treatment gel with clinically proven results that you can get over the counter. And while it might not work for everyone, studies showed success with over 60% of men. And the best part, no prescriptions or online questionnaires needed.
It's great. So why wait? Try Eroxon today, available in stores and online. Visit eroxon.us to learn more.
Would you ever get your own luggage line?
Absolutely.
I think you would make it so
I've had a list of things to do because like there are huge gaps in the marketplace in terms of like really functional.
We need some function and functionality, style. We need to be able to bring as much shit as we can with a small amount of space.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like even backpacks and totes and stuff that have good pockets. I mean, it amazes me. I've like lately gotten into Merces. Like my pockets have always been so full, and I'm like a front pocket.
Oh, we know you're rich. We get it. I'm joking.
But I started like getting Merces. I've got like my Prada and Louis Merces, and they're the most how do I say this politically correct? Idiotically designed
and practical.
Not even a single like zipper inside. So I have this one Louis bag that opens, and it actually has like things get on the side, and it'll just literally go everywhere the minute you open it. Cause like when it's been tossed around, things can like get into
the corners. The duffel one.
Yeah, it's just stupid. I mean, like, and then this new Prada one, a beautiful leather, but it has no zipper inside. It's just a cavern of crap, So I've got ideas on how to make like functional, chic, c'est la vie.
I just know it's going to be great.
Yeah. You've got it all. I think one of the things that when people hear credit card points, that can be a little bit intimidating. And I know you talked about this last time you were here, like point hoarding. People don't want to spend their points.
Yeah. It's an epidemic.
What's the best use of points if you have a limited amount of points when traveling?
I mean, simply put, like airline miles are best redeemed for flights, hotel points for hotels, and credit card points. So your goal is to actually accrue valuable transferable points. Transferable points are BILT points, Chase Ultimate Rewards from your Sapphire.
That's what I got.
Your Amex membership rewards from your Amex Platinum, Amex Gold. In the book, I talk about, we're living in 2025. The travel game has changed so much. You need to have a 2025 strategy. And really, you want to be accruing the valuable transferable points because in your case, you want to fly with your BILT points. You want to go to, Jackson Hole in the nonstop on United. You can transfer instantly United. Say you want to go to Paris for a wedding this summer. Your BILT points can let you transfer often at a bonus to Air France.
How do the bonuses work? Not to cut you off, but that's the thing that I'm like confused about, because I see, is it like a window of time where an airline is like only in February from here to here?
Yeah, the credit card companies do monthly transfer bonuses. Generally on the first of each month, each credit card company will come out with some new bonuses. Sometimes it's like the 15th.
That's when you get your EBT points.
BILT, on the other hand, they pretty much do them on the first of every month. It's called Rent Day, where they have all these crazy promos. And I would say of the last 12 months, I would say on like 8 or 9 of the rent days, they'll have, and based on your BILT status, like I'm platinum, you can get up to more than double your points to partners. They have wild to Virgin, to Emirates.
So it's like there's a window of time at the first of
correct.
every month.
So
I can look right in the app and see what's what.
Yes. So the goal is to accrue as many points as possible. And then when you see these really good transfer, you can literally double the value of your points by maximizing. So then your flight to you could get two tickets to, they haven't done one to United. Generally, you're not going to have big transfer bonuses to the Deltas, Uniteds, and Americans of the world.
What does have the biggest?
Usually Air France, Virgin Atlantic, British Airways.
Are these BILT partners?
They're all BILT partners, and they're all partners with US Airlines. So this is where it gets tricky. And in the book, I have an entire chapter on how to redeem points, because people either hoard because they're crippled with choices and too confusing. The good thing is nowadays, you don't need to be an expert of 10 years. There's all these apps. So there's one called point.me, and it's basically Google Flights for your award miles. So if you've got Chase points, you've got 200,000 Chase points and you want to go to London, when you log on to Chase Travel, and if it's like a $5,000 business class flight, that's going to cost you like 370,000 points if you have the Sapphire Reserve, because they're buying it at a set rate. However, if you transfer to United with your Chase points, you can get that flight for 180,000 points.
So you transfer your Chase points to United fully and then book it through United?
But not in every case, because sometimes United may not have it. Maybe British Airways does. British Airways is also, and Virgin's also transfer for permanent for Chase and BILT. Oh. So the average person might sit there and be like, which one? Checking one by one is how you used to have to do it. Point.me checks them all and tells you, transfer here, it's this amount in miles, in fees.
That's brilliant. It's an app?
Yeah. And if you have BILT, it's free. In the BILT app, when you go to the transfer tab, it'll actually let you use point.me for free. Normally, it's $100 a year for this. And Amex, if you have Amex points, you go to point.me/Amex, you sign in, and it lets you use the app for free. Oh, wow. So it'll tell you this flight's $5,000. Amex will charge you 500,000 points to buy it outright. And that's like why most people, when you call and you talk to Amex, they'll say 500,000 for the $5,000 ticket. The agents don't know how to do all the... So it's up to you to use these apps. So point.me is kind of the famous one now that does all the heavy lifting. Now, the expert one is called seats.aero. Now, this is one I love. So say if your dream is to fly Emirates on the A380 to Dubai, you really want to go to Dubai, you want to fly that first class, take a shower in the sky.
I want the double room with the double bed.
Well, that's the Etihad residence is the Etihad.
The cheek clapping suite.
Seats.aero is a tool. So whereas point.me, you have to have a specific route and date in mind, and it'll tell you every option. So it goes deep on one day on all airlines. Seats.aero is really cool, where it'll let you search by up to a year. So you can say, I'm flexible with my travels. I want to fly Emirates business class, and I don't want to pay the crazy amount. Seats.aero will show you 365 days of availability. You could sort by first class. So out of 365 days, there might only be 50 that have first class availability. But if you're flexible, it'll tell you, and then you go in and take
reverse.
So you don't have to check every single day of the year and check through. So instantly it gives you the data. And that's really where that's how points experts get all the best flights. You see these influencers. Seats.aero.
And it's available through BILT.
Point.me is available through BILT. Seats.aero you have to pay for, but
you're gonna get that money
less
back.
than $100, and you book one ticket and you've saved thousands. So
for me, that's the vacation of being able to fly that and that level of luxury.
Exactly,
that's my vacation. Once I get there, it's just like I'm just kind of hanging out until I can get back on the plane.
Well, and when you realize when you use these apps, you use less points than generally what it costs for coach, and that's why this becomes a game that. Once you start playing it, you're like, why the heck have I been paying expensive flights, flying coach, dreading the return? But when you can book your flights around the amazing. You look forward to your return flight. You're like, oh, I get to watch my movies.
Yep. Yes.
You know, in Emirates first class, it's unlimited caviar, Dom Perignon. You take a shower. You're like, I mean, it is a journey. I mean, it's a part of the trip. So, so using these tools, you don't need to waste months becoming a points expert now. You just teach yourself how to use these tools. They're a little wonky.
If you're a Sniffy's
we'll put
Plus
it in the
member,
description too. I'm sorry.
if you're a Sniffy's Plus member, do you get?
You know, I just met the founder of Sniffy's.
She just joined up for Sniffy's Plus.
I did. Yeah, I saw.
She's-
It was
she's-
a moment of
I
weakness.
joke with the founder of Sniffy's, this guy Blake, super cute. We were like, and I was like, "Can you verify me? I'll join." He's like, "Actually, I can." I'm like, "Wait,
Is
there's
that
that?"
verified?
Yeah,
Are you on it right
apparently. I've never used Sniffy's. Not that I have anything against it.
I gotta pull it
My
up.
height might give it away. It's like 6'7". Yeah, that's not me. I swear, it's Vinny. No,
Man Mafia, just so you know, Sniffy's makes Grindr look like Disneyland. Compared,
Yeah.
it's a disgusting app.
It's a lot. It's great.
it's all about community.
Oh, that's
from what I
right.
hear.
I didn't mean to say
Thank you,
disgusting.
Brian.
with the-
Community.
with the
Yes.
the owner listening. It's very
Yeah, and Sniffy's, if you'd like to advertise, we would love to.
They actually,
We'd
they're
love to
based
go.
in Brooklyn. And
Are they?
Yeah, and I know they're head of partnerships. So I should literally
Oh, we would
connect
love it.
you.
Isn't that what is? I wonder if
And it's
that's
been
why every
around for
time I turn
5
it
years.
on.
I thought it was
Do they-
something brand new,
Do
but
they
I
want to
guess
sponsor? Oh wait, actually, do you want to sponsor our
I
Gay
love
Pride
s-
float?
oh, that would be fabulous. Yeah.
We're looking for investors to we need a bus. We need an Emirates style bus.
Well,
for
yeah,
us
we
to
did.
go down the
I did.
parade
TPG
route.
did it in like 2019. We had a 747 theme. We had Lady Bunny spinning.
Oh,
Oh, how fun!
I
That's
wanted
cool.
to keep it, but they throw all that away every year.
Do
like
they?
after
That's weird.
every major event, they throw like even the stages for like the Oscars. They spend
Yeah.
like millions of dollars and it just gets like thrown away.
It's insane.
Such a waste.
Well, yeah, we'll have either Sniffy's or the Points guy.
Or both.
or both.
Yeah,
We'll
or
stick
both.
as many logos on this
Yeah.
bus as we can.
Down to
On our
travel.
bussy.
Get it?
The bussy bus going down.
The bussy bus.
Oh,
That's
oh
what
my
we'll call it. Nice.
Fly
job.
first class with the bussy bus.
Use points on your Sniffy's app.
Points for prep.
Points for prep. Now we're talking. Well, prep
Oh.
sponsor with everyone.
Well, what a well accoladed book. I mean, just in the back we have the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, Martha Stewart herself,
Oh, I gotta hear about
Madam Whoopi Goldberg, and Kelly Ripa.
I love Kelly Ripa's quote.
She said, "Listen to the travel expert Brian Kelly. He's clearly got the most leg room."
that. That's a great quote. And it's true.
And Martha Stewart, I saw her plugging your BILT credit card. She's my icon. That's what I aspire to be. I actually
Have you met her?
I have met her before. She's lovely.
How was that? You went on her podcast?
I've traveled with her a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I've been to Greenland with her. I've been
No
to
kidding.
Svalbard, Norway.
She's everything. Anna Garner's is the queen of the gays. Martha Stewart has a gaggle of gays. She's
Martha.
very close to her
No,
circle.
yeah.
And Martha's got
Extreme
until
Martha
gays.
Stewart.
Martha's got very like cool gays.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yes.
you know,
watch the
Ina's
doc
a
on her?
queen. Don't get me wrong, but no,
watched-
Martha. We're actually planning a trip to Mongolia together.
You and Martha?
In Mongolia.
Oh my- just the two of you and the kids?
She
brings
I
her
don't know if I'll
grandkids
bring
everywhere,
the kids.
right?
She brings her grandkids
Yeah.
a lot. TBD on that with my kids. But
I
I'm
would assume she flies private to the Mongolia.
no, that's so funny. Everyone is always like when I posted she's a commercial queen. She just flew United Airlines to South Africa. She flies Air France and I flew after her to the Olympics, like the day she flew home. We were like ships in the night. It was one of my biggest regrets in life was not going to the Olympics with Martha.
Same.
I had a house in P-Town and didn't want to lose my house in P-Town.
There
you go.
And then I'm watching the Olympics and her and Snoop. I go to the Olympics when she leaves and I'm at like the horse events and it's like a 2-mile walk. You can't get it anywhere. I'm like, oh, this would have been so much nicer on
She
like
was
a
at a horse meat
buggy,
disco.
Right?
you know? Yeah.
Horse meat disco.
But Martha's a queen. She's like,
How
love
cool.
her.
So that's like ultimate.
we actually have a lot of like similarities. Like we both worked in finance, quit it to do what we love. She loves how to teach people, entertain, cook. I love to teach people how to travel. She sold
Yeah.
her business, yet has like continued to build a brand for herself. And she wrote her first book when I wrote my first book, and she just finished her 100th.
I have her 100th book. I got it for
It's
Christmas.
fabulous.
Oh, it's so good. I have it on my mantle.
Did you watch her doc?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that she had started in finance and like that whole. I didn't know her whole journey. I just knew her as
story
like
is
Martha.
like incredible. And really, I was friends with her in 2016. I actually met her the day after Donald Trump won the first time.
Oh.
We were all on this cruise of CEOs, and she was like the keynote. And my friend my male friend that I met on the ship was like, "Oh, I do all of her, I do all of her TV shows. You want to meet Martha?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" Ended up a month later going to her house for Thanksgiving.
Bedford.
Thanksgiving in Bedford at Martha's.
That's
like
your dream. Easy job.
I went to the Vegas outpost.
How was the Bedford?
No, I haven't been to it.
No. I'm like dying to go. So anyway, I didn't know Martha back in her. Like, I know. If and never say to Martha like, "Oh, didn't you?" But you still probably learned a lot from jail, right? She's like, no. She was like, I was crucified for something so stupid. You think about how many men get away with like bankrupting billions of dollars,
Right.
pillaging billions, and bankrupting shareholders.
Because she was a woman.
Yeah, and during like that time where they were just trying to
an old boys
nail her
club.
to the cross, really makes you like think twice about.
And now you look at all this stuff, like, not to get political, but like all the insider trading with like
Every
Pelosi and all
lawmaker's
these
doing
people.
it.
She made nothing.
Yeah.
She was
Didn't
a
she
billionaire.
collapse?
She made what, $40,000,
And they just
$50,000,
wanted
and they
to
killed her.
they just wanted to destroy her for sport. It was
I love her
Insane.
friendship with Snoop Dogg.
yes,
That
and
is
it's
so
genuine. It is like.
Does she smoke weed?
She does not smoke weed, but she will like cut up Snoop's weed and like there's
To make sure it's nice and fine.
yeah.
Have you met Snoop?
I've not met Snoop actually, but
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof like Alo or Allbirds or Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing, but an often overlooked secret is actually the business behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. And for millions of businesses, that business is Shopify.
Nobody is selling better than Shopify. It's home of the #1 checkout on the planet and the not so secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going on.
So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. So upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/out-and-about, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/out-and-about to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/out-and-about.
Do you
he seems really awesome.
What do you think? What is like a way, like, is there like something on the horizon for people that do want the private experience for flying? Do you have insight on any of that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like ExoJet now does shared jets where you can fly private. They do. I think it's actually a pretty good value. You can pay like $2,000 or $3,000 to fly in a beautiful private jet from Teterboro to Miami. It depends on the price.
But imagine the two egos combating in the thing, like, they throw like, I'm the rich fancy bitch with the private jet, and then the another group, some other OnlyFans bitch renting the jet.
Well, that's what JetSmarter used to be back in the day. So JetSmarter was supposed to be like the Uber for private jets, and it was so cheap, and everyone got free flights. But then everyone on it was like thirsty people trying to like, real estate brokers who would be like, hey, let's chat. Do you want to buy a new house? Like they're like networking on the plane. You're like, and I remember once I did that JetSmarter after the Grammys, like went out partying, and they're like, great, fly private. I'm like, my gut told me don't do it because flying LA to New York, just get a lie flat bed on like Delta, United.
So much cozy. The private jets,
I joined the private jet, and they had another 6'2" guy across from me, and we were in the seats. We had to do crisscross legs. I'm hungover. Then they catered the plane with Subway.
Fuck off. No.
All right, I love Subway.
I was sitting there like
like-
upright, like a
taking the
corpse.
Subway.
Like, why did it's worse than coach? Like I would have much rather had. So yeah, private's not so private when you're
It's not.
jam packed. Like,
And if you know how to use your points, everyone
And
can
those
get that
seats don't lay
experience.
flat. Everyone thinks that they do.
No.
Just the swivel ones. They don't. You can't sleep
yeah, it's
in
like
them.
sleeping on the couch, but that's not very.
No, and
Some planes have the beds, but very few.
And whoever the chief chief stew is gets the back.
The chief stew.
Who was the primary member? What it's called?
Nana was a head stew back in the late 90s.
So what is it
a
called? The
job for
primary
purser.
guest?
Yeah.
You were Nana was a purser.
Nana was a purser.
Oh, she ran that show.
Oh, yeah.
She ran a tight
Headset.
ship.
Britney Spears toxic.
It would only work first class. Would never go back to economy.
Yes.
Did you
What
ever
can I
see
get,
that?
John?
Did you ever see that movie with Gwyneth Paltrow?
No, she would just say chicken or beef, chicken or beef.
Did you ever see Gwyneth Paltrow, that movie? Something about that. She was like a stewardess, and her dream was to work first class to Paris. It's a very good movie.
It sounds.
Oh my God. My neighbor growing up was the longest tenured stewardess on Delta ever.
Wow.
She still holds that record. She started in like the mid 60s.
It's amazing.
And worked.
I routinely meet flight attendants who are in their 60s and have been there for 50 years, and they're like, I'm still like only not even top 10%, because once you get seniority, it's such a good gig. You get paid so much, like you work so hard to get it. They hold on to that until they literally die.
Oh yeah. She was making like great money in like the
and they
early
pick up
90s.
the best trips where like you can fly to China and then get a week of travel for like 2 flights. Like there's all these ways.
Her husband, remember Continental Airlines?
Oh yeah.
Her husband was one of that most senior guys on Continental, and his like home base airport for a while was in China.
Oh,
so to get to work, he would fly from Boston there.
Commute,
He'd be gone for a month, all over the world. He got 5 other families, but it was crazy.
He had 5 other families?
No, I'm saying, sleeping around the world. What's the most important chapter in this book, you think?
I think the most important chapter in this book, I mean, it depends on what your situation is. If you're new to the points and miles game, I would just say, there's the 3 core points chapters are earning, redeeming, and perks. I think earning points would be your starting point, because you got to earn them in order to use them. But even if you're an expert in earning and redeeming, the whole perks chapter, I think, will turn a lot of people's heads upside down or whatever, and that there's so much value you can get from using the right credit cards in addition to the points. And that's why, even experts in travelers, I think, will get a lot out of the book. But I think, honestly, if people have a fear of flying, I interviewed my one friend was in a plane crash, and she was so deathly afraid of flying for so many years. She would have to drug herself to be asleep before takeoff, because it's a crazy story she tells in the book about her dad. The first flight her dad ever took as a private pilot, they went down in Brazil. Her mom took too much luggage on the plane because she needed looks. And they crashed into a swamp. Luckily, no one got hurt, but she was mortified. And then she wanted to do a career in tourism and work at Disney. She's from Brazil. And the whole book is about how her and Whoopi actually witnessed a plane crash in the 70s, one of the worst plane crashes in California history. Her story is really interesting. She was totally fine to fly, and 5-10 years later, she had a nightmare that just struck crazy anxiety throughout her, and she couldn't even think of flying on a plane. So she had a tour bus, and she would go 3 days back and forth coast to coast for many, many years, would never fly abroad. Oh, and when Sister Act became a hit, it was part of her contract was, if it's this huge hit, you've got to go to the London opening. And she was like, it's Sister Act. Like, it's not going to, lo and behold, it becomes a global hit.
She took a boat over there.
And I don't want to spoil it too much in the book, but basically they had to get a private jet and an anesthesiologist.
No way.
To get her there. Popped her down, popped her up on the runway. Like,
what?
Yeah, but now she's overcome her fear of flying and gives all these tips on how she's done it. And now she has a home in Italy and she flies commercial. She's a Delta girlie and flies to Italy now comfortably. She still has some anxiety, but like interviewing her and my other friend now is one of the top frequent flyers in the world. She loves to fly. So I think the book will be inspiration for people who are really nervous. I interview Captain Sully.
It's great how you have interviews too. So it's not like you're reading a dictionary. You're getting stories.
And there's 15 chapters. You can start a chapter. You can skip over the family travel chapter, but if your brother has a kid and you want to help them, give the book to your brother. Like the book, you don't have to read it in sequence in order to get a ton out of it. It can be a resource.
It's a tool, a resource.
There's a whole chapter on like what to do when things go wrong. When airlines cancel your flights, I see so many people making mistakes in airports. The lesson I teach is like, know when you're asking for a favor and know when you're asking what's owed to you. There's a huge difference in getting what you want. When you scream and berate someone,
it never works. And you catch more bees with honey than you do with vinegar.
It's so true, because I explain frontline agents, they can't just bend the rules for you. They won't bend the rules for everyone. They can, but they might get in trouble. So they have to be very particular. And if you're a jerk, they're not going to, use their one get out of jail free pass for someone who's a jerk. If you're sweet and you explain to them, you're going to get home to your family.
I just had a BBL. I need to sit backwards in the seat.
I thought you had a baby. You had a baby too. So I think, each chapter has its own value to people, but, I'm excited I think it's an easy to read. There's also an audiobook that I narrated that is 11 and a half hours long.
Oh, God.
It took me 4 full days. And I came down with like a cold, of course. So I'm drinking throat coat tea.
Shout out Sniffies.
Yeah, shout out Sniffies.
You also, your Instagram, I follow you because every time you travel, you post about your experience.
Yep.
And you gave I can't remember what it was. You gave some great piece of advice on if the Wi-Fi wasn't working, you can just ask them to reset it. That changed I didn't know I could do that. I was like, it's down. So now if the Wi-Fi's down, and you know, if you're not a member of whatever airline, you pay the $8 and it's down. If you just ask politely, can you reset the Wi-Fi? They will. I didn't know that was an option.
Another tip for I run hot in life and I hate roasting on a plane. You can ask the flight attendants. They don't care usually. They can turn down the air in your section. Yeah. So sometimes they won't. Maybe someone else complained, but if no one else complained, they're sitting in the galley having a cup of tea. Right. Sure. They literally can click a button and just make your area colder. They don't care. And
it's so useful. I didn't know.
And so many people sit there on the plane roasting. I
remember being
dehydrated. Yeah. So always ask. So many people are like, I never knew I could do that.
I had no idea. And I got that from your Instagram, the points guy.
Yeah.
But we're doing like a big Brian Kelly commercial right now, but I love your stuff.
I mean, that's why I'm here, right?
The BILT credit card. This credit card.
Do you have it on you?
It's at, should I just go get it so I can show it? Is that necessary? We can just pull up the logo, right? Yeah, whatever. So the BILT credit card changed my life because every time I would pay rent, I would get a transaction fee. So my rent every month, it was an extra, X amount of dollars. So the BILT credit card, you actually pay your rent with this credit card, and you can pay your mortgage on it too.
Well, technically not mortgage, but that's coming. But you can. A lot of buildings will let you pay common fees, monthlies, maintenance. You might be able to pay homeowners fees based on how it's set up. There's, you can
HOA.
You can read more online. Some people have done that. I don't know all the official details of that, but I know I live in a BILT building and I own an apartment, and I'm able to put on my BILT card all of my monthlies and earn points with no fees. And mind you, your credit score goes up when you're paying your biggest monthly expense and you're paying it off in full. That's the key, everyone. Never. BILT is not about putting your rent on credit and then getting into debt and getting evicted. Right. That's not. BILT will actually pull it directly from your checking account to
and
make
you earn 1 point per dollar.
Exactly.
So you rack up points like crazy. So I had all these points that I didn't even know I had. I was able
just
to
from doing what you were already doing.
Yep.
And not only do you get the free flight to Jackson Hole, but you also didn't spend probably $500 in fees that your other processor was charging.
I say my rent is actually cheaper.
And BILT has no annual fee. So once again, people, if you pay rent, it is malpractice to not pay your rent on a BILT card. Literally. Even if your landlord takes a check, BILT will cut a check or direct deposit. So how does you earn the points?
Oh, I pay mine through Zelle or Venmo. How do I pay you?
I believe there are integrations. There are some wonkiness, but you can just say, hey, instead of Zelle, give me your routing number and I'll direct deposit. Your landlord's not going to care if it's direct deposit. Zelle to their bank account or direct deposit.
Oh, then I'll get it too.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
It's like you should refer him so you'll get 2,500 points. And that's another way to earn points. You just, in your app, there's like copy link and you'll get 2,500 points when he signs up.
And every Man Mafia member that I'll get all their points. Just make sure to use my name.
I mean, that's... The getting points in the earning points chapter, I talk about how like referring points, even married couples don't use an additional card. Both of you get a credit card with the monster sign up bonus.
Yes, you both get the points.
It's called 2-player mode.
Of like getting a new credit card.
They are. And in my credit, I talk all about credit. I go into the details of like, what is a credit score? What's FICO? What goes into it? I think people need to be educated. It's not rocket science, first of all. FICO, which is the credit score that's going to decide what your mortgage rate is. So getting credit cards actually helps your score long term. Short term, there's going to be a 2-point ding, 2 to 5 points, but on an 850 scale, that's nothing. It's not. So if you get one credit card, you might have a 2 to 5 point, temporary. It drops off, but the number one factor of your credit score is paying on time. So as long as you pay on time, set auto pay. And the number 2 is actually how much available credit you have available to you. So some people think having too many cards hurts your score. That's false. The more available credit you have to you and the less you use, it's called the debt to credit utilization. That's the number 2 factor of your score. So if you've got one dinky credit card with a $2,500 credit line and you're using $1,000 a month, that's like, you're going to show us 50%, which is a high utilization. If you have 50,000 in available credit from several different cards and you're using a tiny amount, your utilization rate is way lower. So pay it on time, have more available credit that you're not just running up. And that's a key thing here too. Never get open credit if you're going to be, I got all this credit, I'm going to get into debt. You will lose at this game, full stop. If you're in credit card debt, get a credit card with 0% APR, neutralize the rate, pay it off, focus on that. Then you can get into the points game. But if you're paying money anyway and you have good credit, you know, the only time I would say don't apply for credit cards is within like a year of applying for a mortgage. Although, you know, I had several applications. Mortgage companies are looking for, are you irresponsible, right? And technically credit card applications right before a mortgage is about to close, just wait. Once you have your mortgage on, if you're not applying for a mortgage anytime soon and you've got a good credit score, you should be get one or even very conservatively 2 new credit cards a year. You're going to get approved. You're going to get like $1,000 each just from the sign up. And then you can get credit cards that reward you for what you spend on. Like the Amex Gold is 4x on dining and groceries.
So is there a number that's too many credit cards?
No, I have 28 and an 800.
Because you don't have to spend on it.
No,
you just spend to hit
a lot
your
of credit-
bonus and then you're done.
Yeah, and a lot of credit. I'm not saying everyone got 28. But yeah, a lot of credit cards have perks that pay for the annual fee off the bat. So people might say, well, that's crazy the amount you pay in annual fees, but I'm getting more than that just in the simplest of perks from them. Plus, I'm getting the ability to earn like 2, 3, 4, 5x points on all these different categories that these cards have. So, and a lot of the hotel cards have free nights that are worth twice as much as the annual fee. So, you know, start small. Don't bite off more than you can chew. I don't recommend people getting 3 credit cards at once because each credit card has like $3,000, you know, you need to hit. So you don't want to have to spend $10K in a month. And you're like, then all of a sudden, like,
yeah.
But I have lots of tips.
All of a sudden you're just like,
well, I have lots and lots of tips in the book of how to take, your goal is to spend no money on cash. So instead of wedding gifts that are cash, get gift cards. And by the way, you can get really great gift cards at your local supermarket where you're earning 4x points. So that $500 in cash you would have given, you've now got 2,000 Amex points instead of giving 500 in cash. Once you start doing that, you've got a home renovation going on. Don't go to Home Depot with your credit card. Get Home Depot gift cards at your local supermarket for 4x on that Amex Gold card. So lots of strategies to take it to the next level. We're getting more intermediate, but it's simple. Once you start
getting it,
your score goes up, and then you play this credit card game, you get free flights, your credit score goes up, and you pay less on your mortgage. That is winning at life, not just travel.
And I think it sounds a little overwhelming and intimidating, but like Brian said, just start small.
Start small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could talk to you about this forever. I have so many questions, but you guys are going to have to get the book in order to check it out. How to Win at Travel, Brian Kelly. Available Amazon, everywhere you get books. It's going to be in airports all over too.
It will be in Hudson News, everywhere. February 4th, it hits shelves, but pre-order now. Ebook, audiobook narrated by yours truly.
11 hours to kill.
Yes. Or if you're going to Europe, you can just hit it on double speed. You'll learn really quick. But
well, thank you, Brian. It's always a pleasure. Congratulations on your new baby and your new book.
Both babies.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Brian.